I'm Kirsten Wild of Wild Wandering, and I would like to welcome you to this morning stretch and yoga mobility practice for pregnancy. It is safe and welcoming for anybody, so if you have a partner, family member, or even one of your other children who would like to join this morning, please do so. This class doesn't require any props. However, if you would like a blanket or a pillow to sit up on, that sometimes can feel really good, especially in the third trimester, later trimester, just to elevate the hips a little bit. So if you want that, go ahead and grab it. Otherwise, find a spot on your yoga mat, on the carpet, a rug, anything that's comfortable for you. And just find a comfortable seat. You could sit cross-legged or any other way. And hands can just rest on your knees or in your lap. Sit up tall, and if you feel comfortable here, close your eyes. And we're just going to start by observing where the breath is at this morning. So notice if you're breathing through your nose or your mouth. Notice if your breath is deep or shallow, long, short. And without judgment here, just notice what it is. And then take a moment to notice where you're sending the breath. So some of us are deep belly breathers, some of us breathing just into the throat. Certainly, depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy, might be impacting your breath, might be giving you a shallower breath as things are moving around in there. And that's okay. Just notice here where it's at. And then as much as you're able to, starting to deepen your breath and breathing into your belly, your lungs, your throat, but also expanding your breath side to side and front to front. So breathing into your rib cage, you should feel your rib cage gently opening, the bones actually moving away from each other as you take an inhale and create more space. And exhale, they gently come back in. If it helps, you can bring your hands to your ribs to just feel that and actually think about sending your breath into your hands. What this does is our whole center of our core here, from our chest down to our pelvic floor, is all a pressure system. So the more that we can even out this pressure, the breath is a really, really powerful tool. So if we're breathing just into the chest, it's actually creating more pressure down in the pelvic floor, which can create some issues or some discomfort. So really important to come back to this breath anytime that you're noticing throughout your day. Come back to this breath, even out the pressure in the whole system here. And this is our functional breath that we try to strive for. Of course, it comes more natural with more practice, and it's all just a practice, nothing perfect. Good. And then go ahead, bring awareness back to the present, back to this space. You can open your eyes and just go ahead by taking an inhale, reaching arms up overhead, finding any movement that feels good. You might bend elbows, roll through your wrists, take a little stretch side to side, work out some of those kinks, especially if you weren't super comfortable sleeping last night, might have some tight spaces. Hopefully this little bit of stretch helps set you up for a good day. Okay, so in pregnancy, we like to take open twists rather than closing and scrunching space for the baby. So go ahead and bring your left hand to your left knee. Right arm is just gonna open up. So nice open twist here. Still finding mobility in our spine without crunching that space for baby. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can actually look over your right shoulder, past your right fingertips. And then come back through center, right hand to right knee. Open up your left arm. and back through center. Both hands to both knees. Now we're going to take some mini cow cats. So inhale for our mini cow. You're going to send your belly forward, your chest forward. Think about rolling your shoulders back, maybe squeezing shoulder blades together. Chin comes forward. And exhale, you'll tuck your chin and round. You can straighten your arms. You can kind of send your low back behind you. Inhale, chest forward, cow pose. Lift your chin, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, round your shoulders forward, tuck your chin. Just take a couple more. Moving really slowly. Kind of a secret of prenatal and postnatal yoga is that the slower you can move and the more intention you can bring to your movement, the more benefit you're going to have, because you're finding that mind-body connection, which is helping to create some great habits for birth. Also, when we find that mind-body connection, we can become more aware of the way that our body is moving with our breath, what we're activating, and it really can make this movement a lot more effective. Go ahead and come forward one more time. And round back one more time. Okay, come back through center. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, find your cactus arms. So elbows come out to the side. And then think about pulling your elbows back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. While you do this, you might notice that your ribs begin to flare here. So if that's the case, think about drawing your ribs down so you can isolate the movement into your shoulders. From here, we're just going to find some movement back and forth, always coming back to our cactus arms on our exhale. So as we inhale, reach over to one side. You can bring your opposite hand down to the ground if you'd like. You'll stretch long, and exhale, come back to cactus arms. Doesn't matter which side you're on here. Inhale, stretch to the other side. Exhale, come back up, cactus arms. Good. We're just going to move back and forth just like this. And again, be really intentional about your movement here. As you exhale, really draw your shoulder blade down your back. Inhale, really stretch it long. If it feels good, you could always close your eyes here, just having a nice peaceful moment, moving. And then even out both sides. Maybe this is your last one here. And we'll inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands come down in front of you. You're going to take as deep of a fold as you'd like. So especially depends on how much baby has grown here. So you could simply just bring your hands down and tuck your chin forward. If you're a little bit earlier in pregnancy, you still have more space and you want to, you can walk your hands a little bit more forward. But either way, rounding into your upper spine. Good. And then walk your hands in to come back up. We are going to navigate to bring our feet forward. So however you'd like to get there, take your time. And you want your feet about hip width distance apart. You can just bring your hands behind you so you can start to send a little bit of weight towards the back of your tailbone here. And then walk your feet just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. And we're just going to windshield wiper blades knees side to side. They don't have to come all the way down. Just find some gentle movement to begin. And then walk your feet in a little bit closer. We're just going to take one knee at a time. We're going to find a little bit of internal rotation with our hips. It's a movement we don't get a lot in our day-to-day movement, but really important, especially as we prepare for baby. Creates a little bit more space at the back of the pelvis. So with your feet in close here, you're just going to dip one knee down, and you can really turn your hip to the side. But what we're looking for is an internal rotation, that knee coming in. So depending on what you have space here, just work with what you have. a little stretch. Prenatal yoga, we don't hold stretches too long. So go ahead and come back forward. We'll switch sides. We have a hormone coursing through our body as soon as that baby is implanted, and as soon as that baby starts to form, we have a hormone called relaxin, which really loosens up all of our ligaments in our joints, preparing for childbirth. Okay, go ahead and come back forward. So what that's doing is allowing everything to loosen so that we can bring that baby through. But as a result, we can be really prone to injury. So go ahead and bring your legs forward, and then heels slightly in, toes slightly out here. So just creating a nice big cradle here. We'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down to your legs or maybe your heels. Again, just folding forward slightly here. Thinking about isolating that movement into your hips, your groin, just getting a little bit of space there now with our hips externally rotated. And then walk your feet back in. Knees together, we're gonna come down onto our side, take a couple more movements, and then find some rest. So moving with your knees together. If you can here, use a forearm, come down onto your side. You can grab a pillow here if you want. You can use your hand, or you can lay directly on the ground. Just gonna find a little bit more mobility for our hips here. So knees are in about a 90-degree angle. Hips are stacked here. You can bring your top hand to your top leg here, just to remind you to keep them stacked. And we're just gonna take 5 here this morning, not overworking too much. You're gonna keep your feet together, and you're gonna lift your top knee. And again, just like the other movements here, the slower you can go, the more benefit. Sun has come out of the clouds, and it is very hot on my face. I'm just going to keep my eyes closed. This is my 5th one. If you are still moving, keep moving. But the next thing that we're going to do is switch so that our knees are together, and we're just going to lift our foot. So again, finding that internal rotation of the hip. And we'll take 5 of those. Try not to rush through it. The power is in the slow intention, not just powering through and getting it done. Okay, this is my 5th one here. And then move slowly. We're going to roll through our back to the other side. So just to demonstrate that, keeping your knees together if you can. You're going to roll through, slide onto hip bones, and face the other side. And you're just going to do 5 of each on this side. And then after you've completed them, we'll just take a rest. Stay on your side. I'm going to sit up just so that you can hear me. But you can just rest on your side. You can close your eyes if they're not already. Maybe resting your top hand on your belly, just taking a moment to connect with baby. Connect with your breath, maybe coming back to that full-bodied breath. Taking this moment of rest. You have a full day ahead of you. I don't know what's on your agenda. I don't know what you have to get to today. But just taking things one day at a time in this pregnancy, right? And before we do that, before we take one day at a time, we take one moment at a time, this next breath, acknowledging this moment of stillness, of grace for yourself. Maybe a little love note to baby here, just maybe a simple I love you, maybe I am here, we are in this together. And then I'm going to invite you to stay here as long as time allows, as long as you'd like. Maybe you even just take a little snooze if that's where you're at, a little morning nap, no shame in that. We're going to take a couple of breaths together just to end class. Deep inhale in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Bring awareness to baby here. This next breath's for baby. Inhale in. Exhale out. Wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. If you liked and appreciated this class, please like and subscribe. I plan on doing many more of these. So please follow along, and I'll see you next time.